Hello students, welcome to English class. We'll begin with The Merchant of Venice, Act 1, Scene 1. Before we proceed, let's have a quick recap. First, let's check out the advice given by Gratiano to Antonio, finding his melancholic mood. Gratiano was advising Antonio by saying that not to attract others by putting on the sad expression. According to Gratiano, the popularity that Antonio gained by doing so is as worthless like a judgian. Now, let's check out Bassanio's opinion about Gratiano. Finding Gratiano indulging in idle talk, what Bassanio says to Antonio about Gratiano is that Gratiano indulges in idle talk. His speech is just like 2 grains of wheat eaten in 2 bushels of worthless chaff. One need to spend whole day to search for the sensible part of a speech. And when you find them, you realize that it's not worth the search too. So dear students, till now we have met few important characters in this play. They include Antonio, Lorenzo, Gratiano, and now we are going to get an idea or introduction about what Bassanio is. What we came to know about Antonio is that he is of course the main hero of this play, Merchant of Venice. We came to know that he is a wealthy merchant who owns a number of ships carrying merchandise to the 4 corners of the world. He is an honorable man. Antonio is found to be melancholic for no reason to tell. Perhaps it is a result of a spiritual loneliness and lack of emotional fulfillment, for he has neither loved nor married. Maybe that's a reason why Antonio is picturized as a passive and a weak person. And by now we have got a good idea about who Gratiano is too. Gratiano is Bassanio's friend and also is introduced as a great talker. He helps to provide humor in the play by his witty and outspoken comments. Then we were introduced to another important character, that is Lorenzo. Lorenzo is a friend of Antonio and Bassanio. He is a sharp contrast to Gratiano, as he speaks little in the situation. So now dear students, let's have an idea about what Bassanio is and who Bassanio is. So Antonio's dialogue. Well, tell me now, what lady is the same to whom you swore a secret pilgrimage that you today promised to tell me of? So Antonio is asking to Bassanio, tell me now what lady is the same, meaning who is that lady to whom you swore a secret pilgrimage. Secret pilgrimage means secret meeting. Swore meaning promised. So line by line meaning, well, tell me now what lady is the same, meaning who is that lady to whom you swore a secret pilgrimage. To whom you swore a secret pilgrimage means to whom you had decided to pay a secret visit, with whom you have decided to pay a secret visit. That is, who is that lady whom you have planned to make a secret visit with, that you today promised to tell me of. And Bassanio has promised Antonio that he will disclose all the details about that lady on that day, that you have promised to tell me of, that you today promised to tell me of, that you have already promised to me, will be revealing to me about the identity or details about the woman today. So tell me who is that lady with whom you have planned a secret meeting. So dear students, what I can tell you about Bassanio is a young and handsome man of Venice, and he is the dearest friend of Antonio. He is in love with a lady named Portia from Belmont. He is of happy-go-lucky nature and is a very sharp contrast to the melancholic nature of Antonio. He is picturized as a carefree man who loves to enjoy the pleasures of life. So here we find Antonio asking Bassanio to reveal the identity of the girl or the lady with whom he is in love. So Bassanio is telling to Antonio, "'Tis not unknown to you, Antonio, how much I've disabled mine estate by something showing a more swelling pot than my feigned means would grant continuance. Nor do I now make moan to be abridged from such a noble rate, but my chief care is so come fairly off from the great debts wherein my time something too prodigal hath left me gag." So he is telling to Antonio, "'Tis not known to you, Antonio. 'Tis, by the meaning, it is. It is. Not unknown to you. That is, it is quite familiar to you. Antonio, it is very clear to you. How much I have disabled mine estate. How much I am disabled. Disabled means misused. Mine estate, meaning my financial condition." So how did Bassanio misuse his financial status? It's shown in the third line. By something showing a more swelling pot than my feigned means would grant continuance. By showing something a more swelling pot. Swelling pot means living in a rich style. Living in a rich style. By something. So how did he live? He lived as if he is a rich man. Then my feigned means, meaning my meager income, my very little income, would allow me to continue. My feigned means would grant continuance, would allow me to continue. So he is telling to Antonio, "Antonio, you know very well, I told you before, Bassanio is a spendthrift." So he is telling to Antonio, "Antonio, you know very well how much I have squandered or how much I have disabled or misused my financial status." How did he misuse his financial status? Is that though he is a poor man or though he is an average man, he lived as if he is a great rich man, like a swelling pot. That is, in a very grand style he made his living. Then what is fame means, then what is meager income would allow him to continue. He lived in a very extravagant style. And what could be afforded by a man like Bassanio with an average income? By something showing a more swelling pot, meaning by displaying myself as a very rich man, then my faint means, then my meager income would grant continuance, would allow me to live. Nor do I now make moan to be abridged. Nor do I now make moan. Moan means complain. Abridged. Abridged means now I am reduced, to be forced to give up. To be forced to give up. So he is telling, now I do not complain to anyone for being to be abridged, for being forced to give up that high-fi way of living. Now I don't have money to continue so. And I don't complain to anyone, for I am not able to live like that, or I am forced to give up that way of living. For it's from such a noble rate. From what way of living? From such a noble rate. From leading such a high-fi, lordly way of living. I do not complain to anyone for not allowing me or for not able to continue that lordly way of living. But my chief care is to come fairly off the great debts wherein my time something too prodigal hath left me gag. So he is telling, now I don't complain to anyone for not able to for I am not able to continue that high-fi way of living or that lavish style of living. But my chief care meaning main concern, is to come fairly off from the great debts. My great concern or my main concern now is to come fairly off. To come fairly off means to get rid of. To get rid of from the great debts. To get rid of all those great debts wherein my time something too prodigal hath left me gad. Wherein my time, meaning which I have incurred. which I have incurred. Something too prodigal, which I have incurred while I was leading a extravagant life. Something too prodigal means while leading an extravagant life. Hath left me gagged, meaning hath, meaning has. Left me gagged means made me into, has put me into debt. Has put me into debt. D-E-B-T, debt. So he continues saying, to you, Antonio, I owe the most in money and in love. So he's telling to Antonio, Antonio, I know very well that it's to you I owe the most. I am indebted to you the most. My majority of my major debts is to you itself. I am supposed to give back the money to you. To you, Antonio, I owe the most in money and in love. Not only in terms of money, I have borrowed a lot of money from you, and moreover, I was not able to return the love and kindness which you have shown to me always. So, what he means is that it is to you, Antonio, I owe the most, not only in terms of money, but also in terms of love. And from your love, I have a warranty to unburden all my plots and purposes, how to get rid of all the debts that I owe. So he's telling, and from your love, I have a warranty. From your love, meaning your affection, gives me assurance. Warranty means assurance. Your affection gives me assurance, and from your love, I have a warranty to unburden all my plots and purpose. Gives me assurance to unburden, to reveal all my plans and intentions. To reveal, to unburden means to reveal. All my plots and purpose means all my plans and intentions. How to get clear of all the debts I owe. And also, it gives me confidence to tell you how to free myself from all the debts I owe. That is, your love for me gives me enough strength to reveal my plots and purpose regarding how to get rid of, how to free myself from all the debts that I owe to others. So let's see what's the reply given by Antonio. Antonio, I pray you, good Bassanio, let me know it, and if it's Chan as you yourself still do, within the eye of honor, be assured, my purse, my person, my extremest means lie all unlocked to your occasion. I pray you, meaning I request you. Good Bassanio, meaning my friend Bassanio, let me know it. Please disclose me everything. Let me know the entire details about your plots and plans. And if it's Chan means if it is a very good one, as you yourself still do, just like how honorable you are to me. If your plans or plots is as honorable as what Bassanio is to me, within the eye of honor, that is within the eye of honor, that if your scheme is like just like yourself, a perfectly honorable one, be assured. Be assured means you can make sure. My purse, my person, my extremis means lie all unlocked to your occasion. That is, if your plan is a very honorable one as what you are to me, then my money, my person, that is my body, and my extremis means and all my resources lie unlocked to your occasion. Lie unlocked means will be available for your needs. Can be utilized for your needs. So Antonio is telling to Bassanio, dear Bassanio, you my dear friend, if your plot which you have got now in order to save yourself from all the doubts, from all the debts, is as honorable as what you are to me now, then you can make sure that my purse, my money, my body and all my resources will be available for your occasion, will be available to serve your needs. So now, let's check out what's the reply given by Bassanio. In my school days, when I had lost one shaft, I shot his fellow of the same flight, the self same way, with more advised watch to find food the other. To find the other food, and by adventuring both, I oft found both. I urge this childhood proof because what follows is a pure innocence. So Bassanio is telling, Bassanio is citing an example in order to reveal the plan to Antonio. In my school days, when I had lost one shaft, he's telling, during my school days, when I used to play with bow and arrow, sometimes I used to lose one shaft. Shaft means arrow. He had the habit of playing bow and arrow or playing with arrows. Sometimes he used to lose his arrow. If you are playing in the garden and so, arrow might fall somewhere and it will be very difficult to find the place where it had fallen. So in such a case, what Bassanio used to do is that I shot his fellow of the same flight. So in order to find the missing arrow, what Bassanio used to do is that I shot his fellow. He used to shoot his fellow, meaning another arrow of the self same flight. Self same means similar. Self same flight means with the same speed, the self same way, in the same manner, with more advised watch, but this time he will be more careful to find the other fourth as to where it is falling. And by finding the direction, the place where the second arrow is falling, he was able to get the first arrow also. That is, whenever he loses one arrow, what he used to do is that he will take another arrow of the same type. And in the same way he has shooted the first arrow, he will send the second arrow also. But this time he will be more careful regarding where the second arrow is going and falling. And by going to the place where the second arrow has fallen, most of the time he was able to get the first arrow also. I urge this childhood proof because what follows is pure innocence. So finally Bassanio is telling, I urge this childhood proof. I urge here means I present or I offer this childhood proof, meaning example. I offer this childhood example. Because what follows is pure innocence, meaning because what follows, meaning because what I am going to propose. Because what I am going to propose is pure innocent. Pure innocence means something which is very harmless. Because what I am going to propose to you now is something which is very harmless. I owe you much, and like a wilful youth, that which I owe is lost. But if you please to shoot another arrow the self way which you did shoot the first, I do not doubt, as I will watch the aim, or to find both, or bring you latter hazard back again, and thankfully rest debtor for the first. So, dear students, you can copy line-wise meaning. I owe you much, and like a willful youth, that which I owe is lost. I owe, meaning I am indebted. I am indebted. I owe you so much. That is, I am very much indebted to you. And like a willful youth means like a self-willed person. Like a self-willed person. Like a willful youth, that which I owe is lost. Whatever I am supposed to give to you, how much money I owe to you, everything is lost now. That is, he had borrowed a lot from Antonio, being a very spendthrift and a person who was leading a life like a swelling pot, right? So he's telling, I owe you a most. I know that I'm supposed to give a lot of money to you. I have borrowed a lot from you and still I owe it to you, or I am indebted to you. And that which I owe is lost. And now the worst thing is that whatever I owe to you, I have lost whatever I got from you. Whatever money I have got from you, it is lost. Which I owe is lost. But if you can give me one more loan, but if you please to shoot another arrow, if you could please give me to shoot another arrow, here stands for another loan. That self way which you did shoot the first. I do not doubt as I will watch the aim or to find both. The self way, meaning in the same manner. That is what he is asking to Antonio is that if you could give me one more loan, in the same manner as you have given the first one, which you did shoot the first. In the same manner you have given the first one. I do not doubt, meaning I am sure. As I will watch the aim. As I will watch the aim means as I will be very careful. As I will be very careful about my aim this time. Or to find both, or bring your latter hazard back again. So this time, if you could provide me with another loan, I'll be very careful regarding how I'm going to use the money this time. As a result, I'm sure that, I don't doubt means I'm sure that, as I will watch the aim, or to find both, or bring your latter hazard back again. So this time I'm sure that I will find both. I will be able to return both my loan to you. The loan which I am borrowing from you now as well as the previous loan, I'll be able to repay it back because this time I'll not spend money in a lavish style. I will utilize it properly. I'll spend it very properly in such a manner that I'll be able to gain more profit from this loan. And as a result, I'll be able to pay both. Or at least, if I cannot pay you both or bring your latter hazard back again, at least I will bring your latter hazard. Latter hazard means the latest loan. The second loan which I am borrowing from you. At least, I promise you that I'll bring at least the second loan back to you this time. It won't be like simply borrowing money and not giving it back to you. This time I promise you that at least one of the loan I'll definitely bring it back to you. And thankfully rest debtor for the first. And after repaying at least the second loan, I'll thankfully rest debtor for the first. Thankfully rest debtor for the first means I will remain indebted to Antonio for the first one. And after that I'll remain as a grateful debtor to you for the first one alone. Debtor means the one who borrows money becomes debtor. One who lends money becomes creditor. Debtor, D-E-B-T-O-R. One who is borrowing money from someone. Okay. And thankfully rest debtor for the first. So after that, I'll be debtor only for the first loan. So dear students, let's check the summary of Bassanio's dialogue. Bassanio is telling that during his school days, whenever he lost one of his arrow while shooting, he would shoot another arrow in the same direction. Thus, by risking the second arrow, he often regained both his arrows. Similarly, Bassanio is proposing Antonio for a second loan, and he says that he proposes to pay back his previous loan as well as the present loan by carefully managing the expenditure of his second loan amount. So let's see what Antonio says about it. You know me well, and you ain't spent but time to wind about my love with circumstance. Meaning, you know me well. That is, you know me very well as a friend. And you ain't spent but time to wind about my love with circumstance. And herein, that is now, you spent but time. You are simply wasting your time. Herein, now, at present, by making such a long speech, you have simply wasted your time. To wind about my love with circumstance. By making all the reference to my love. By simply talking about my love to you. And out of doubt, you do me now more wrong. Out of doubt, meaning surely. By speaking a lot about my love to you, you do me now more wrong. You are doing more wrong to me. No doubt, you have done a great wrong to me. In making question of my uttermost. Making question of my uttermost. Uttermost means readiness to help. Readiness to help. So what he means is that, so he's telling, by doubting whether I will help you or not, you are committing more mistake. Out of doubt, you do me more wrong. You are committing a greater mistake before me. In making question of my uttermost, by doubting whether I will help you or not. Then, If you have made waste of all I have. If you had made waste of all I have means if you had wasted the entire wealth of mine. What Antonio is telling is that, dear Bassanio, by speaking a lot about my love to you in such a complicated manner, you're actually doing more wrong to me. And it hurts me more than what you have. It hurts me more when you doubt whether I will help you or not, than if you had wasted my entire wealth. Then do but say to me what I should do. So he's finally telling. So now do but say to me, just tell to me what I should do, or how I need to help you. That in your knowledge may by me, that in your knowledge may by me, that is according to your knowledge, could be done by me. And I am pressed unto it. And I am pressed unto it, meaning I am ready for it. I am quite ready to do it. Therefore, speak. Therefore, you just do one thing now. You tell me what I am supposed to do. Speak means you tell me what I am supposed to do. So, dear students, we'll wind up our class here. Goodbye.